I hadn't heard about this until someone sent it to me today, and it is extremely upsetting, and all I can do is hopefully get this some exposure. Fair warning, this does talk about the unaliving of a child and some of the details, so if that's too much, you may want to skip this. April 14th of this year, the sister of 12-year-old Sean Daughtry returns home to find him suspended from the swing set in the backyard. She calls 911, he's rushed to the hospital. There, he is declared deceased. Police investigate, and they determine the cause as being self-unaliving. Sean's family does not agree with that finding. Now, let's face it. People his age do this tragically, and oftentimes it's hard to accept. However, when I tell you why they don't accept it, I don't think you'll accept it either. This is your last warning before I get into details. Police described that he was found with a shoelace-type string around him, a nylon bag over his head, and a belt cinched around his abdomen, pinning down his arms. And they say he did that himself. So he climbed up, put a shoelace, tied it, nylon bag, then somehow cinched down a belt that held down his arm so he couldn't reach up or undo the belt, and he did that himself, somehow. Then there were a ton of other strange things at the scene, like the fact that he was wearing his stepfather's clothing, not his own, and he was barefoot and his glasses were thrown in the grass, that his underwear was in his parents' room and the drawers were all open like someone had rummaged through them. His stepfather was in another town with one of his siblings, by the way, and his mom was taking someone to a doctor's appointment and had left him to watch his 2-year-old little brother, something he was extremely excited about because this was like a new responsibility for him. So we're now expected to believe he did this, leaving his 2-year-old brother all alone. An hour before he was found, he talked to his mom and everything was great, and also he took out some of the trash and he completed his homework. So he started a chore and did part of it, but not all of it. And he did his homework that he was never going to turn in. And let's go back to that nylon bag. You know what that reminds me of? Public hangings, where they would put a sack over the person's head so the audience wouldn't see how their face contorted in agony. Like he was put there by someone who didn't want to watch. No history of mental illness or depression or bullying. His mom had just got a job at the Pentagon, and he was super excited that he was going to get to visit it. So if this also doesn't make sense to you, there's a change.org petition you can sign, as well as a GoFundMe because the family's having to pay for their own investigation. But this is insane, and his family deserves to know what happened to Sean.